as it was looking down. But that's quite all right. Because my heart's going. Right? Let's see. That's way down. Brother, come on. Nobody sits like that. There we go. Is that better? There we go. Let's see. Too dark. Rotate. I might just have to go out there in the sun. Let's see what we got here. Oh, see. Interesting point of view. That's just too much. Too much, mister. There we go. Thrill of the chase. This is the thrill. I can't tell if you can even hear. Oh, I got this thing. Not like you pick it up anyway, unless I'm yelling anyhow. Ah, Mr. Kiwi. Not like you hang out right there. Well, I may be yelling, I may not be yelling. Camera back over this way. The way the Wi-Fi has a better connection. Let's try that. I guess it really will work in either place I stick it. So even if it was back here, as long as I'm not sitting down, it should be fine, right? I guess it really will work in either place I stick it. So even if it was back here, Mr. Kiwi, as long as I'm not sitting down, it should be fine, right? So there's the event horizon, the shadow line. All right, we got what, 2 people in here. Obviously, you saw them. Obviously, you might hear the computer playing. You know, like Forrest. I don't know about you, but I at least want to learn how to fly a helicopter, especially in these dire times and needs. You know, with the whole coronavirus. I don't know about you, but I at least want to learn how to fly a helicopter. All right. There's 2 of you in the room now. You may or may not have given me your state already for Project X, so go ahead and type in your state. Yeah. It's interesting. People. The whole point of this is to get a whole different perspective of Forrest Fenn. And in doing so, to gather the states that each individual, like you guys in the room, choose, you give your own perspective of not just the chase, but of yourself. It's a two-way street. It's finding the balance. So in doing so, so they say you have to have all the information for all information, to be good. In this project, I have to watch other individuals out there in YouTube land and Facebook land and just life. A lot of people do that. People watching. You go to the mall, you stand around, you watch people walk by. You go to a concert, you stand there and you watch. You just people watch and you learn things that they're trying to either prove or not prove. You know, everybody in this search is wrong. Plain out simple, everybody's wrong. On the other hand, everybody is right. This helps show that balance so that people can stop. Well, hey, just because I know so and so, just because you think you know somebody doesn't mean you know them. You can have somebody out here that's never met Forrest, way out here, never met the man, just read his books, maybe listened to some interviews, listen to other people, how other people talk about Forrest. It's the same thing that we all do to each other here on YouTube and Facebook. We all watch each other trying to figure out how can we better one, or how is that person better than me. We can find the balance in the perspective of Forrest in our own lives that, the search could be a little bit more fun, more of maybe it may or may not, but it's a balance. This, I think, brings balance from somebody who's never done the search, somebody who's never, been boots on the ground. It's taking that perspective from other people and of Forrest and just kind of, finding some common ground that anybody in any conversation can have. Bill has his own state. That's great. We'll put it on here. It's already done. There's, Candy has her state. It's already on Project X. K-Pro, she's got her state on there. I better make sure. I think she's Wyoming. Yeah, totally. So Project X. People can go from a state and go in, and it just kind of, that's their own journey. That's everybody's own journey trying to follow Forrest. That's your own journey trying to be the shadow of Forrest. That's what we're all trying to do. Yes. So he got me. Let's take a look here. Hold on. Be careful that coronavirus. But anyway, Project X. Trying to find that balance between a person in their own life, ourselves, searchers, places that we've been, boots on the ground, etc. Mentally or not, physically. They're not the same, but you got to be able to find the balance. I think the boots on the ground is a good balance. Let's see, Project X. And this Project X is simple. It's simple. It takes me 5 seconds to put your state on this board. It takes a little bit longer to, go in there and add people's names and stuff, which is okay because, this isn't about what I'm looking for. And this isn't about what Forrest is looking for, because Forrest has already found what he's looking for. I have other searching points to help them find what they're looking for. So the project is a balance of that conversational piece between searchers, because you here, why you here? Went on there and opened it up so other people can go in there and add their information, because I'd like to see this start fill up. And the whole reason why it's hard to pick one story, which is understandable. Oh, here's another interesting thing about people watching. I learned this yesterday. It was interesting. What people think of other people. We will never, ever, ever, ever know what somebody thinks. Ever. Now they could try to explain it by what they say, whether they say it in an explained way or they just come out and say it because they're not thinking. People talking bad about other people, when communication might be, misbalanced, which is, it happens. Everybody in this search is facing their own demon. Everybody in the search is facing their own demon. One of the biggest common demon that anybody has in this entire search, the biggest demon that everybody has in common, and I think that's one of the reasons why, the thrill of chase has such a profound meaning for me. Everybody has death in common. When you're born, we live our 7 stages, and then we all die. It's just a way of life. Mother Nature, everything has a beginning and an end. Plain and simple. So in that, like Jesse Waters, this isn't Jesse Waters' world though. This is my universe. So when there's other searchers who are negative or positive, I learned yesterday, it really doesn't matter, because when I'm dead, I'm dead. If you're not, it don't hurt anymore. Everything goes away. So to look at that perspective of like, well, people may or may not like me, that is fine and dandy. I've learned to try not to care anymore, because the only people I need to impress is myself. And the only person you need to impress is yourself. Whoever's watching this, impress yourself. And that's it. From there on, as the building blocks to a better life and future, I think. I don't know. Something I'm learning myself. So, but yeah, Project X is just a whole bunch of easy, simplified stuff to find the common ground that we all had to talk about, and why Forrest would have picked one of these states, so that in death, he's still not alone, if that makes any sense. I think when he's sitting there having these reveries, or talks about going to these places, it's right there on the tip of my tongue, that storyline. Knowing that Peggy was there, so that everything that we see in our mind now or around us, when we are at that step, the next event, that whether we're physically alone or not alone, mentally we can prepare ourselves through this journey of life by facilitating that when that time comes, that we're mentally not alone, and it helps reduce that anxiety and fear and whatever else that stirs up inside you. But I haven't. So part of the Project X also is I want to try to like the lifeline for the 7 stages of life. I think I might keep it with the age period, because it's you can be a teenager of younger years or older years, and it makes such a big difference. And so, yeah, Project X. Oh, time frames. Everybody saw. There was another thing, a thing about watching other people and learning perspective. So, one of the things I read, learned, saw, it was, I think it was my fortune cookie that I still have. Of course, I have like a whole plethora. It says, find what you love in others and apply it to yourself, or something like that. Pretty plain and just, right? So people who are out there talking bad about other people, other people see that. They know what not to do to other people. The way people are. 3D bronze. Come on. How cool is that? Dude's out there. He's got the time. You don't have the resources, so I hope people will sit there and go to the3dbronze.com or 3dbronze.gmail, whatever, and help that fella out there. That's way cool, especially at a time like this when the common ground
right now is medical supplies. The health and welfare of the entire search community and the entire search, or the entire, U.S. and wherever else have you, however far your circle goes. You know what I mean? He's going out there on a big circle. You know, health and welfare of your family is one of the biggest things in this search. I think people are trying that they can find. Anyway, digressing. Project X, trying to update it. You know, I'm gonna try to go through, because as I sit there and watch people on their channels, you know, the dents there, you know, everybody has good qualities, just like everybody is right on a state that Forrest has visited. Now, the reasons why may vary completely, because there are a million different reasons. But everybody has bad qualities too. It's just the nature of the beast. There's up and down. But we all can learn to find the balance in the things that we say and do that affect the people, whether in our home, or our work, or our social life, or social media life, or even, you know, search community life. I mean, we can find balance. I'm not perfect. Sure as hell am not perfect. Digress. Who cares? This is my universe. All I can do is just make it better. By making it better and sharing my thoughts, if I can help somebody figure out a state that might help them better understand Forrest, or better understand other searchers, then I'm gonna try to find that balanced ground and just keep a common conversation open for everybody. You know what I mean? What state? It's that simple. And then answer a few questions. It kind of gives that personal relationship between you and your state, Forrest and the state, you and Forrest. So I haven't even looked at this thing, so I don't even know if people are chatting. Of course not. Only one person. That's fine and dandy. I don't know if Mark Connor's still in the room, or if just the one person. Oh, Mark. Yeah, I got you on there, don't I? Let's see, Mr. Mark Connor. Kiwi. Yeah, Mark Connor. What's your state, brother? See, you're on there. You're on Project X. You probably gave your state. Usually I sit there and yeah, Project X. Whoever's in the chat room, only one person here to this entire thing. Well, there was two, probably maybe more. Yada yada yada. Common thing, you know. You guys can leave a comment, like, dislike, whatever. I was trying to do the Zoom thing, but the whole microphone and Zoom and using two different devices. I guess I could just use two different devices so that Zoom can actually be open. I guess I could still do that if anybody wants to do Zoom. There's two people. Leave your state. Come on, type down your state. I'll add you to Project X. Go from there. I mean, I've already gone through the process for myself. I've already visited a spot that I felt Forrest has visited when he was fishing, possibly. It's a unique place, and it's easy to get to, and it's right there by the road. So I think there's only a few places along a certain journey or storyline that it takes me, and that was one of them. So I already shared my state on Project X. I've shared all my information. I've damn near besides put an actual X. Well, I did put an X on the map. It may not be like pinpoint, but you can't miss it. Can't miss the overlook. It's quite nice. It's a nice place to hang out before you go fishing. Plain and simple. Nothing hard about that. So yeah, no treasure chest there that I know of yet. Maybe there might be one. Go back. Who knows? It's my universe. I can do what I want. You can do what you want. Take 5 seconds. Let me know that you're alive and breathing. Pick up your fingers. Let them fall on the keyboard with letters so that we can get this handled. Let's update this. That's what the whole title's for, is updating Project X.
let's update this. Kiwi wants to update it. Kiwi, what are you doing? But I mean, we got. So I mean, if I were to do this, actually, let's do that. We got. So we ain't got that many storylines, but we got more dots. So let's put some dots on the board. I'll go through the list. We'll lay some dots out. We're gonna see where these dots fall. Which state do you think now is the higher state? Let's find out. We'll play connect the dots. From searcher to state to a special place visited. I think people are focusing when they're too focused on the. Yeah, Mr. Kiwi, I think might be hungry or thirsty. I'll have to verify. Are you hungry? You know. I understand things about life, and it's okay. But we'll get it figured out. But every now and then, you gotta have a good partner in life, whether it be a person or an animal, who, is pretty cool. I got a lot of people in my life that are pretty cool. I got a lot of animals in my life that are pretty cool. And it was only until I started impressing myself with the things around me that, things just started changing. Changing that perspective of what you think, someplace may or may not be, to a place that can exist in front of you. But anyway, stop adding my 5 seconds. This is me taking, another 5 seconds out of my life to put your dot down, because every dot matters. Even Kiwi's got a state. Kiwi, put you right there. Montana. Alright, since nobody's adding their state in the chat right now, I'm gonna step away from the chat. I'm gonna start adding dots off of Project X. Let's see what this update does. Because I'm gonna try to keep all this stationary, but circles might change, might get updated if people actually start adding their storylines and whatnot. So, all right, Project X, come on now. What we got here? It's so hard to read this. That damn sun. All right, we got New Mexico, Wyoming, and Colorado. We got New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado. Oh, that was Wyoming's in love with Yellowstone. So somebody that actually gives their storyline, they get their own circle. If that makes any sense. Montana. We got another Montana. So my Montana is actually Flywater, so I'll put my one story, because in the Thrill of the Chase, you would have to think that the man who wrote the poem, The Thrill of the Chase, in 15 years, didn't just write one book. He wrote all 3, in my opinion. He wrote all 3 and had to pick the very best down to The Thrill of the Chase. I got sun in my eye! Kiwi, what are you, thirsty? Here. Oh, look at that. Alright, back to this. Montana, New Mexico, Montana, another New Mexico, another Montana. Let's see, these are people that have given their information for Project X. These are people that have just given their information out there on the whim. I'm not saying I can't use that. It's my universe. And it's yours. So share your universe, share your perspective. Don't be scared. Oh, that was Flywater. Oh, that's me. That Montana comes back off. That was me. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, come on. I'm not trying to highlight nothing now. Let's see. Oh. So, like Okie, Chest Chaser. So you had the Capper or whatever, and you had the Lewis and Clark. But so you're Montana.
or Wyoming. I'm sorry. You're Wyoming, so I have in order for me to put I will put a circle around here because you've given your storyline that simply connects the thrill of the chase, with the search states. So I mean that works. But in order for me to put a state down, I can't assume that you favor Lewis and Clark more than the Caper. But if I were to say, I would think you were a Lewis and Clark man. Correct me if I'm wrong by leaving a comment or something. Let me know which one storyline really puts the treasure chest into whatever one state or both states, because mine's Wyoming, Montana, because it's a lifeline a journey that he's taking. So yeah, Okie Chest Chaser, leave me update that with a single story, because a single story helps simplify this. If I had got too many, it jumbles it up. I'm trying to reduce. New Mexico, another New Mexico. So we got 3, 2, 1. We got Okie here somewhere with this story. Oh, New Mexico, Montana Gold. Montana Gold. And another New Mexico. Let's see. Oh, is that it? That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, that's 11 people that shared at least their state one way, shape, or form. But you can see that there's a pattern. I know one of these 4. When I was talking with them, I would almost want to say, My War for Me was their title for their book or their title that connected them. Who knows? Maybe people actually get on Project X. I put it where you can edit it now, so you can get on there. I hope, and click on your, by your name, click or add your name. So click on the next list. I'll go through and re-alphabetize it for names, but you can click on each block. Hopefully you'll be able to now put your information, And I put the list of the names of the 7 stages so that you can put that down as well. And it's just to help me out. It's to help me understand that connection that Forrest might have been looking at throughout his entire lifespan in this search. So let's see if there's anybody still in the chat room. Come on now. 2 people. That means, somebody can at least now take the time. Hi, my name is da 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 da. My state is da 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 da. And I'll take 5 seconds and put your dot down. After I and I'll put it inside there. But yeah. Let's see, we got nothing? Nothing? Come on. In 5 seconds. If you don't put something down, I'm gonna have to leave. But have to leave. No, but hold on. I'll take 5 seconds. I'll show you this though. We'll see what this looks like. We'll break it down a little bit. Let's see. We'll see if we can see. Can't see. How's this look, Mr. Kiwi? Of course, there's so much lag. I was out working yesterday, metal detecting, and came across a nice beauty. A couple nice beauties, actually. So one of the things in rules and regulations is like fishing. If I'm not mistaken, Mister, did you get me? I don't need nothing else on me. All right, Chief. Is if I'm not mistaken, if you're standing below the high water mark of a river, who owns that? Because I think they only own up to the water's edge or the high means mark. So Mother Nature maybe owns the rest. So if you're, prospecting or metal detecting down there at the bottom, below that high water means mark, what's that constitute? You know what I mean? I think it's a way of, keeping it simple. Anyway, I found this nice rock here, which you'd be like, well, what's that rock for? Well, I'll show you. And I found this. I can't even see. I gotta wait for it to catch up. Oh. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so this one here. I don't know if you can see that. So, hey, what are you doing? Oh, whoop that ass. Yeah, I will. Hell's wrong with you? I gotta put that one down here. That's the special one. Stop chewing stuff up. Kiwi's down here chewing stuff up. So this, down to this. Son of a... Ooh, well, here, you got pens and stuff. Go right all over the walls like a kid. Seriously, stop chewing my stuff. Down to this. So you see the method here. From that, down to that, down to that. And you start getting these. And this is how you actually kind of can tell an area. Down to this sucker. Look at that beauty. See, I can't even see. Probably all pixelated. Looks like crap. Probably sounds like crap too. But I mean, look at that. Look at that beauty. You know what I mean? That's a nice arrowhead. That's a nice arrowhead. So yeah, when you're out there, next time that you're out there by any, I don't want to say any water, but you never know. Along the shoreline, yeah, see, that's just, that ain't too bad. You can kind of see it. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice arrowhead. No, you can't see that one. All right. Between the watermark and the high water mark, along the shoreline, you'll see lines going down the shoreline, and that's where the water comes up and crashes. It's the break or whatever. Blah, blah. Oh my God, mister. You're in so much trouble. That is it. There. You can write all over the table with that. Dry erase marker. So, the natives, they would sit there and obviously they would sit by the water and they would, nap, as they call it. And they would, chip these off. And so, as you're walking along, you'll see a whole bunch of real sharp pieces where they sat and flaked and made their arrowheads. So next time you're out there and about on it, near the water, and you see the water line, just it don't take much to look down. Maybe you'll see a bunch of flakes. Maybe you'll find an arrowhead. But that's one way I found out. Look at is where you find these little flakes. You sit there and you scuff the dirt. Now with your fingers, you end up cutting yourself. I use my boot. I also have a 3-claw rake. I'll sit there, rake the ground, and I'll scuff my boot over like using garden rake when you're trying to separate the grass and rocks from the dirt. I learned that when I was a landscaper, which hence we're doing all this stuff because we get back into living life, enjoying our playground. This is our playground, our heaven on earth, and everybody's home, their family, that's their heaven on earth, their place of solitude. Sometimes mine's out there looking for whatever somebody left behind, because it all is part of a story. So what's your 5-second story? Tell me your state. I'll throw you on there on the Project X. We'll get you added. We'll throw you up there on the board, get you added there. And if not, go in there and add yourself to Project X. Of course, people don't follow the video all the way through, so they're lost, not mine. And I'll take my time, going through this whole process, updating it, because there's only one chest. There's only a handful of people that are out there on the tube channels doing their thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And then there's all the other searchers, or not all the other searchers, but you have a nice handful of searchers that come on watching the YouTubers and stuff. And I think there is a balance between an outreach between those YouTube searchers that are watching the other YouTube channels and people that don't even know about the search. Because it's not just about the search, it's also, for me, it's a lifestyle in the sense of how can I keep impressing myself to be a better person for other people. And I think that's something a lot of people can do, and they do. So that said, let's see if I can't try to cut this short, simple, sweet. Like, dislike, leave a comment, highlight Project X, leave your state, answer the other 4 parts or 5 parts if you like, and we'll just keep adding it, and we'll take 5 seconds to add your name to that whiteboard. And another 5 seconds to add your that storyline that ties you in. So it'll be interesting to see the balance and effect that searchers have on this thrill of the chase. So with that, peace out, enjoy life, and you know what? The only way you're gonna find something is by getting out there and doing it. So, adios muchachos. Hey, check out my ceiling.